Hey guys!
Hey! Gross. Hey! You know when you're like nervous, you're like, hey! Hi!
Hey! It's like that one TikTok sound. Hey!
I think we need an intro.
Okay. What should our intro be?
What about like an octave thing? Like, hey. Ready? Hey. I'm gonna sing.
No! Because I don't want that. It's a no from me, dog.
Hey. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll figure that
I'm
out.
crying. Yeah, what have you been up to?
I have been doing pretty well in quarantine, I would say. I have been doing pretty well.
Sorry, maybe we should address that. When people do podcasts, how do they cough? Do they just like block it out?
So funny. But yeah, I have been doing pretty well this week. I would say it's been like a 6 out of 10 because I've definitely had those weeks where I'll get in my car, drive around, and listen to Frank Ocean for 2 hours.
Such a Hana thing to do.
Yes. You know, when you just gotta like feel some emotions and you're feeling some type of way.
Did you cry?
I think I did. Which is fine.
Yes, 100%.
Feel all of your emotions.
Love to cry.
Honestly, I've just been crying a bit too much, though. And, like, the thing is I can't even pinpoint exactly why. There's, like, nothing that will, like, trigger, like, me crying. It'll just be, like, general sadness. But it's okay. This week was a bit better, I told you.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10, yes.
That's actually still not passing, but...
Hey, but that's better than half.
It's on the up, round up.
Yes,
you guys,
round up.
Your mentality should be round up.
And how has it been for you?
Okay, so you guys, we have this mental log with our friends. So I've been just kind of writing down, and this week, generally, I wrote that I was laughing a lot.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I've been laughing so much, and I've always been told by my parents that the way I come off, like my voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very, like I mean it in a good way, but it comes off hard and harsh sometimes. Just like my comments, like I'll be like,
Oh.
why are you doing that? But it's like I'm
Like
just
a
trying to
genuine
say-
question,
Yeah, genuine.
yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? But it's like they'll take it offensively. Like, why are you doing that?
So like
almost.
the tone doesn't
Mhm,
really
like my
match
tone. Mhm.
exactly what you're trying to say.
But I feel like my family has been a lot more understanding of that, or my tone has gotten better because we haven't been bickering, nothing like that.
Oh.
And I've just been laughing because, okay, low-key, it's pretty disrespectful. Like my parents and I'm really close to my parents, and one time during breakfast, I was like, should we play the same age game?
What's the same age game?
It is a game that I made up.
Okay.
And it's basically treating your parents like you guys are the same age. And my mom and dad were like, oh, why would we play that game?
Wait.
I don't know what was happening. We were just eating breakfast, and like I was like, Appa. In Korean, I think it's 동갑, right? It's 동갑 means same age.
Okay.
So I was like, Appa, let's play the 동갑 내기 game. And he was like, what is that? And I was like, just calling him by his Korean name.
Like just so disrespectful. Like because in Korean you have like your
Yeah.
formal like
Yeah.
way of talking to elders
Oh,
and
yeah.
then just like
Yeah.
as a friend.
Yeah, and so now every time my dad wants something sorry. Now every time my dad wants something from us, we'll be like, okay, but you have to play the 동갑 내기 game for 5 minutes.
I'm gonna pee.
I'm getting hot. I'm crying too much. Yeah, so basically because of that, I've been laughing a lot this week, I think. I've just been laughing a lot this week, which is super good. Other than that ridiculousness, you guys, I'm trying to learn the guitar. So I even went as far as cutting my nails only on my left hand.
Oh
So
my
my
gosh.
nail lengths are different. I don't know what kind of confidence got into me, but my first song I'm trying to learn is Officially Missing You. I only got the first note down. The dun.
And honestly, I don't even know if you got that note down because from your Instagram story, it seemed pretty out of tune.
Which is weird because I even tuned it. But something's definitely wrong because the string has knots in it.
What do you mean?
No.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I think it broke, and my dad just tried to tie it back together.
He was like, I'm gonna Boy Scout the shit out of this. With this knot. Look at this knot.
There are 2 on the 4th string. It's really difficult, but I'm gonna get there. I believe in myself. So yeah, so that's just been my week.
Wow.
Wow.
Honestly, my favorite thing is the same age game.
I wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to give it a try, give it a try. I can't guarantee that you won't get in trouble. But you know what? Let's get into the episode. Both of us are so excited to talk about this. The episode, as you saw, is called The Big 10.
Bow, 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 bow.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so what in the world is the Big 10? Basically, your non-negotiables, your deal breakers.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? But deal breakers about what, right? Boys is what we're talking about.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about boys. And, I mean, I always had a list. I feel, maybe not always, but, you know, growing up, I remember having some type of list. You know, like, oh, I want my future husband to be like XYZ. But I recently remade one, actually, because of Hana.
Yeah, so basically what had happened was one of my mentors was telling me about how before they had even started dating, she basically was like, oh, like, let's make this list together of our non-negotiables, like the 10 things that we want in a person, and she ended up marrying the guy that she made the list with. So I was like, oh, your girl trying to get cuffed. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my list of 10 things. Honestly, because it just sounded like fun. Also because I think that it makes you realize like who's around you. So let's just get into it. My list is number 1, Christian, family-oriented, ambitious, health-oriented, nunchi, which is a Korean word. And I would kind of describe it as like they just like understand social cues. So like nunchi / sociable. And someone who's a constant learner, a student, and just like strives for that growth. Someone who has a sense of humor that aligns with mine. Athletic, gets along with my family and friends. And 10, I actually don't have a 10th.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I feel like this list, it's constantly changing, right? It's almost like they're like things you think you want in a man.
Exactly.
Until you actually meet, you know, somebody that you're dating, and then you realize, oh, like maybe number 3, like that's not as important, and it's easily replaceable.
Right. Like something that you can kind of like give a little room for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that for me initially, like when I had this, you know, Big 10 list a long time ago, although it was more physical attributes, I would say. But mine are actually number 1. I mean, ours are a little bit similar, still very different, but all right, are you ready? Don't judge me. Christian. Family-oriented, but with an emphasis of acts of service. Someone who's like educated, and actually not even that. It's just like someone who's interested in education, whether it is book smart stuff or street smart stuff. Just someone who's scholarly, just wanting to seek to feed their brain, basically. Somebody who is vulnerable and emotional. Somebody who is athletic. For that too, I'm not too sure if I want somebody interested in athletics or somebody who is physically athletic. But I'm a pretty athletic person, so I would hope that they're physically athletic as well.
Yeah.
I like a tall man.
She does.
I like a tall man, 5'11" minimum, and I have had friends say like, Julie, you need to save the tall guys for the tall girls because I'm 5'3". But you guys hear me out. I like to wear heels. Your girl likes to wear heels. 5-inch heels. You know, a little wiggle room. Yes. Picturesque, you know, 5'11", 5'8", perfect. Yes, so 5'11", tall man, respected by others. I think everybody, we have like different edges and facets of us, right? Like somebody can be super nice to me, but what if they're a complete douche to their coworkers, or you know what I mean? So somebody who is just like nice to everybody and respected by others. Huge one. Positivity. Somebody who is positive. Somebody who is chivalrous and considerate. Our friends made up a word. Considerism. And number 10, last but not least, somebody who is resilient and hardworking.
Everything on your list, I can kind of like relate to as well. Like, I mean, not quite 5'11", because I'm 5'2", so, you know, that's just, like, proportions.
I'm gonna expose us for a sec. So I'm actually not really 5'3".
Oh, no!
I'm 5'2.75". 5'2 and 3/4".
That's so interesting, because I'm 5'1 3/4".
But remember what I told you guys about rounding up? You gotta round up.
Round up,
So
round
5'3".
up. Yeah, 5'2".
Yeah. And like I was saying about it just being so interchangeable,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know, when you date guys or befriend guy friends, you will think of new characteristics to add on. Like, it doesn't need to be 10. It's not limited to 10. I have a friend who literally has 40 plus, like, on her list. Had it forever, but
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I'm struggling to, like, make 10. Like, I'm only at 9 right now. But
Yeah.
I think, like, as I date a bit more, I'll be able to, like, figure out exactly what I need. Right now, it's just, like, these are like, nice to haves.
yes, nice to haves.
Yeah. A couple
But we
of them.
said they were non-negotiables. So non-negotiable nice to haves.
But we also have a few that we're like, no, our future man's needs to have this.
Yes,
So,
must have. I mean, what's one of mine? So my number 2, right, the family-oriented one, emphasis on acts of service. If you guys haven't taken your love language test, it's like one of those like personality tests, right?
Yeah.
You can just literally look up love languages test. But basically mine used to always be, I think 12 is the highest number. It used to be 12 gifts, and the rest just kind of...
oh, like for your love language.
Yeah, the love
Okay.
language. The rest were like maybe like 7 6s. The rest of them, right?
Damn, you sound expensive.
But I also think that's because that's how I grew up a little bit. It was like, do well on a test, here, like, reward.
Oh, wow.
Come
okay.
back from retreat, oh, my parents missed me, reward. It was kind of like that. Like, it's,
Like,
I don't know,
ding,
it's
ding,
such
ding,
a
you're-
millennial thing,
Yeah.
I think. But over the years, they're actually now an equal of 11, or at least the last time I took it, 11 acts of service and gifts. And then the
Oh.
rest kind of follow.
Yeah.
But acts of service, I'm realizing, is huge in my family. And so it's my individual love language because that's how my family how we run.
Right.
It's my parents feel appreciated when I, go to my mom's work and I'm helping her out with little chores. Or even, she finishes work, comes home, but no dishwashing to do and the house is clean. It's like doing those little things means a lot to my mom. So me too, like, when you are doing things to ease my day, right?
Yes.
Like offering to do things that help my day flow better, that's when I feel super love.
Yeah.
Like my
definitely.
least is words of affirmation, and my family, we like say I love you, obviously. We're a very loving family, but it doesn't hold as much value as the action.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that, like, I completely agree. Your words, to an extent, don't mean shit. So you gotta show me that you
Yeah.
love me. So
Talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk.
Yes.
So, and I think it's something I realized maybe within the past year, especially though, just from witnessing my friends' families, I guess.
Okay.
And like one of my exes, it's just, I would like my family in the future to show each other love through acts of service.
Yeah.
I'm
like,
such a profession-driven person that if I'm having a hard day at work, I come home, I wouldn't want to do the dishes or clean the house or come to the house like looking dirty or a pile of dishes that need to be washed.
right, when your guy is just, like, let's say sitting on the couch, like,
Yeah.
yo. I'd
Yeah.
be a little, like, upset, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just really important to me, and I feel like I want this in a guy because if they show me they do that now, I know they'll do that in the future.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
if they don't do that now, why would you expect them to do it in the future?
Yeah, I think this is why people are always like, he's not going to change. Don't
Yeah.
expect to change the dude. In the same vein, I definitely want somebody who gets along with my family and friends. I think actually a big reason why I'm pretty picky with who I date is that I think about, like, how my family would react, like, to be like, oh, honestly, like, my dad would be like, what school did he go to? That's the first question. It's always, what school did he go to? And there's already that standard, I think, and I definitely think about that. Like, I think education is important, and so just making sure that this person vibes along with my family and my friends especially. Like, I've had an instance where this guy that I was dating, I brought him along to an event, and he did not try at all to like get to know my friends, and it kind of sucked, you know, when I'm like trying to make conversation, like trying to mix groups, and for him to like not ask my friends any questions.
Which is so big for Hannah because she used to feel really uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
About mixing friends.
Oh, yeah.
But I've lately not as much, which like, you know, makes me happy because
Yeah, I have so many different like separate friend groups. And so like birthdays were always so stressful for me. Like I do not like mixing friends because I think that they were just different, or I would always be the, you know, I'm like the glue between these people. And so the entire night I would just be making sure that everyone was having a good time, where maybe I wasn't having a good time. So I have been trying to mix friends, integrate friends, and like I think I've come to a realization where I'm like, I'm not responsible for your happiness.
Yes.
And so I'm going to just like have everyone go to a music festival together.
Yeah.
And, you know,
kind of like you got to meet me halfway.
Yes.
I did the part where I'm introducing you to these group of friends.
Right.
Now it's your turn to do whatever you want with that.
Exactly.
But I also totally get you with it being stressful when that person you're dating or whatever like doesn't get along with your friends, because that happened to me before, right? And
Right.
especially with my close group of friends, it's really hard, right? Because you don't want your friends to dictate like kind of who you're dating, but it's like they know you so well. If there's a red flag, it's not like, don't dismiss it.
Yeah.
There's clearly a red flag for a reason. And I like trust my friends because they know me so well.
Right. But sometimes it's hard because
It's hard.
at that point, like your emotions are invested,
mm-hmm.
and you just can't really, like, it's that whole thing, like love is blind. Like you can't really like see who's in front of you because you're like only looking at the good things. So like your friends give you a little bit of that perspective. So I think it's just finding that balance between holding your opinion like very strongly and considering what other people feel.
Yeah. Another super non-negotiable for me is that you gotta be resilient and hardworking, which goes along with one of my earlier points about being positive. I am such a positive person, or I try to be very optimistic. Why would you want to be pessimistic almost?
Yeah.
Right? Like if let's say you got a ticket, I'm gonna be upset about it. Like, oh my God, there goes, I don't know, $200, let's say.
Yeah.
But it already happened. Like, it already happened.
It's not that serious, bro.
Yes. You learn your lesson, hopefully.
Yeah. Like, accept that the situation sucks.
Yep.
But...
Yeah, like, the analogy I thought of was, if the situation is the flower and I'm, like, the bee, here we go. I'm a visual person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just note that, you guys. A very big thing about Julie.
Visual.
Visual. I'm visual. So imagine if the situation's a flower... You know, you're the bee. You gotta suck out the, what is it? The
pollen?
Oh, is it pollen? I was gonna say nectar.
I think it's nectar.
Nectar.
Yes.
The nectar. Yeah. But is it no, it's nectar. Yeah, you just suck out the good, right? From the flower, from the situation, and you just move on.
Right. Because I think that when you have those people that like let those little things in life kind of like tick them off and it like ruins their entire day, it's just like, how is that a way to live? You know, like you just gotta like accept it sucks and then move on.
And when you don't move on, the thing is the past like 6-7 months, what I've been learning at like work, like, and just from the conversations I'm having with the people around me, it's oddly like they just align, they're just integrated. And something I learned is that if you don't let it go, right? Mm-hmm. Like, meaning you're thinking about it and letting it affect your mood.
Like holding grudges.
Mm-hmm. You're reliving the situation.
Like, it's almost like you're hurting yourself twice.
Yep. Multiple times if you're not letting it go.
Right.
So just resiliency, I think, right? Just learning the best from the situation, even though it sucked ass, and just moving on.
Yeah.
So staying positive, because for me personally, if my significant other is having a bad day, and obviously, I'm going to try to help. I'm not going to be like, suck it up, be positive. I'm going to hear them out. But if they, like, there's a big chance they're, like, bringing me down with them. Like, I will be happy. But if you're, like, really Debbie Downer, my day will kind of be ruined as well. So I need somebody positive, too.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, I think they say that the 5 people that you're closest to, like, you're the average of them. And so,
Ooh.
yeah, I know. Like, once I heard that, like, I kind of, like,
Ooh.
looked at who was around me and what kind of traits that they possessed. And I think that, like...
That's interesting.
Right?
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Okay.
Yeah, and so, like,
Okay.
I think that one thing that I really look for in other people, like, around me is ambition. And so I just want them to have goals or have dreams and, you know, like, really go for it. Like, we literally live this life once. Like, why would you, like, kind of give into your fear? Like, I think I've realized about myself, like, I am definitely scared of failure. Like, my fear of failure is so great to the point where, like, I would say it's a bit crippling, and it's something that I need to work on. Like, you know, like, fail quickly, like, fail a lot, and you'll get somewhere. And so I think just having that mindset and just really, like, wanting to do a lot with your life, I think that that's so attractive. Honestly, the way that I learned this was because I had this guy in my life who has always been, like, a maybe for me. Like, you know, you have those people that, like, you're like...
It sounds so bad, but, like, you know, you just kind of keep...
you gotta keep
It's like a potential.
It's a potential, yeah. And so I definitely had one of those guys, and I realized that he wasn't ambitious, and it was the most, like, unattractive thing, you know? Like, no drive, like, just a little bit lazy, and I just felt like they were just being wasteful with their time, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think that just, like, being able to realize your potential and want to actually meet that potential is huge for me.
Yeah. I'm, like, right on the same page. But for me, that ambitious, actually, I'm trying to be more ambitious with being adventurous a little bit.
Okay.
Because the same thing, like, I know this is kind of like a overdone, like, YOLO, right? Like, YOLO, like, you only live once. Like, everyone's heard of it. But you really, like, if you really think about it, you only live once. So why do I want to, like, settle for mediocre?
Right.
With anything. Whether it's boys, career, house, car. Like, that's what I thought of. I'm just trying to do more things spontaneously. Like, this moment right now at our age, we only live it once. So why do I want to waste it laying down and doing absolutely nothing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess people who are ambitious, I don't know. You know, nowadays they say, like, a bachelor's degree is, like, so, like, everybody has it, right?
Has
like,
it.
the next bachelor's is the master's. So, I mean, it's ridiculous how much money it sucks out of all of us.
Student loans.
My best friend. But, yeah, for me, another one I would say is, like, education. Right? I said it, like, whether it's street smartness or, you know, like, book smartness. It's just that thirst and that thrive to, like, really want to know more. Because...
Right.
I mean, I look at it this way. The way you're going to connect to others is if you have knowledge about things, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. Like, let's say Hannah was interviewing me for a position. Everybody kind of did the same. Our credentials, like, it's similar. But let's say Hannah was wearing a brand that I really liked and obviously noticed. It's like I am relating to her on a different level. But I would have only known that if... You know what I mean?
You knew
just
about
gotta
that
know.
brand.
Yeah, you just have to know about random different things. Let's say you're in history class, you start talking about Europe and you've been to Paris. Talk about, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, like, draw those connections, like... Make that small talk. Like, it honestly makes a difference because it shows a bit more about your personality rather than just, like, what you are on paper.
Exactly. That just oomph. Yeah, that oomph. Yeah, maybe one of my favorite onomatopoeias.
Onomatopoeias. Look at that word, that vocab. Shouts out SAT vocab.
Oh my god. I actually saw my SAT vocab book on my bookshelf a couple days ago and I was like, oh, it's like purple. Like SAT. But yeah, I think just if you are more alert, aware, knowledgeable in, like, random things, you can relate hard to so many different types of people.
Yeah.
Which honestly is always, like, good, right? Essentially, like, even if you meet a bad person, it's like, now you know that's a connection not really worth having.
Right. Because you're able to, like, spark that conversation off of the little knowledge that you have. Exactly. And just be like, you know what? I have plenty of friends. I'm gonna leave now.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, just being, I guess, I don't know if the word's really educated, scholarly, but somewhere around there of wanting to learn.
Yes.
Wanting to learn.
Yes. And wait, that's literally mine. Like, someone who is a constant learner, like, they want to strive to grow. I think that, like, it really shows that you're self-aware, and honestly, like, a bit humble in the fact that, like, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm not the best at this. And so, wanting to change that about yourself. And I honestly, like, I think a lot of this comes from my dad. Like, ever since I was little, he's always been like a huge like Tony Robbins guy. And I personally, like, in my free time, my favorite thing is like TED Talks and just like motivational speakers like Mel Robbins. Her 5-second rule like literally changed my life. And so like I'm just like a huge dork with that sort of thing. And so I think a lot of it comes from my dad, Like,
Wait, I was a little triggered when you said like acknowledging like what you don't know.
oh, uh-huh.
Remember our Paris trip? Oh my god, you guys, that's like really big for me. It's like, why? I would rather have you be honest, put your pride down, and say you don't know, than to, I don't know, like act like you know, or
Pretend like you know, or just, I think a lot of guys, I'm gonna say guys, if they don't know an answer to a question, they will bullshit and say it with so much confidence that you believe them, and then later you're like, dude, this wasn't the fucking right direction.
Yeah, but to me it's so attractive. It's really attractive, actually. Like, really, really, when you can just own up to not knowing, because, I don't know, nobody in the fucking world knows everything.
So, yeah, I definitely look for somebody who
is like your dad.
Yeah.
Which is, like,
oh gosh.
Okay, it's a little creepy,
just a little bit.
But mine is actually, I mean, growing up, daughters, like, I don't know, you're always like, oh, like, dad, like, I'm gonna marry somebody just like you. But it's really funny because I would always tell my dad that, but
it's
someone
true.
taller.
Oh, someone taller?
I would say, Appa, like, I want to marry someone just like you, but taller. So I'm looking at the list, and really, except for my 5'11",
it's literally your dad.
It's what were you saying? People go for what they're familiar with.
Oh, yes.
Right?
A lot of times people will search for familiar love, not necessarily love.
Familiarity, then.
Yeah, then, like, what's good for you, maybe.
Ooh, yes.
I think that's why, like, you have a lot of people, like, the whole daddy issue thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and, like, love is subjective, too, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you define as love?
Right, like, what are your love languages? Like, how do you express love and receive love?
Because, wait, what's your...
love language?
Yeah.
My love language is...
quality time.
Good job.
Yes, it's quality time.
I'm a huge quality time person. I think it's because I've spent so many dinners just laughing. And also, I would just like to make a comment that me and my family used to make these dance videos together.
Oh, they were prime.
Yes.
So funny.
And this was before it was even trendy on TikTok. So, who started that trend?
Trendsetter.
The Lee family. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that's like, so we just kind of shared some of our...
non-negotiables.
But like top.
Like very, very strict.
Super strict, strong non-negotiables. And I mean, this is all to say, like, I mean, you know how I just, like earlier I said, oh, I had the list. The list used to be more like physical attributes. And I mean, I asked myself, okay, Julie, like, why did you make this list?
Right.
And I'm in my early 20s. For me, like, I think dating is so important, right? Like, dating, you need a date to figure out what you want on that list. So I'm all for going on dates and, I don't know, like, dating around, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But it's now, like, these attributes I want, they're more, like, essentially serious a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I would want this in my future husband because I'm only planning on getting married one time. So why sell yourself short? Why settle for that? I don't know. I don't want to say comfort, but just like, why settle?
Right. I agree. Like, I don't want someone mediocre. I want someone that I'm like so proud to be with. Like, we constantly make each other better.
Yeah.
And really like grow together. Like, I don't want it to be even like, I think a lot of times in relationships, like, you get a lot of like codependency. Like, they try to find happiness in
within each other.
Yeah. Like, in their partners, which I think is so false. Like, you need to really look for that in yourself first, and then and then you can like show that love to your partner.
That's deep. All in all, just don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, exactly. I think more than anything, I'm using this as a checklist for myself. Like, if I want all of these things in a dude, then I for sure need to have them, you know? Like, let's not perpetuate the whole double standards thing. For sure, if I want my guy to be ambitious and have a stable career and like be family oriented, then I need to have that in myself first, you know?
Yeah, so a lot of us, are in quarantine, and just what better time than to make this list, right?
Yeah.
So many times, a lot of things that we want to do, we kind of push off to the side.
Especially like the big picture things. I think it's easy to just be like, you know what? This isn't urgent. This isn't immediate. Like, let me do it tomorrow.
Boom. Yeah, like tomorrow. Every day. It's something with the diet, right? I'm going to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, I mean, whether you are in a relationship now, cuffed, whatever, I think, and if you're single, I think this list is really good to have.
Yeah, just like for yourself, like keep yourself in check, you know?
Yeah. And I think even the fact, like if you're struggling to even write like attribute number 1 down, like there, like boom, that's a starting point. Like at least you're aware now. Awareness is honestly the key.
Yes.
Dude, I can go on and on about awareness. That's the toughest part, but at least you're aware that you haven't even thought about this. So give it a thought.
Yeah.
Write a list. I told you my friend has like 46 on her list. So don't be like, oh my God, like I have so many. But I would say like try to aim for 10 at first, and then just add on, erase, reflect.
Yeah, and realize that people are dynamic. Your list is going to change. The people around you are going to change, and you're going to add and subtract things. So yeah, I think it would just be, honestly, it's fun. Like,
It really,
it
and
was
then
so
because
fun.
we'll just talk about it like with our girls, but even our guy friends are interested to hear it.
Yeah, like all the time I'm like, what's your list? You know, like it's a great topic to
Picking
have.
the other like gender's brain, and like one of our friends, right? Like he loved, like I sent him mine. I just straight up sent it to him in the group chat.
Yeah.
I just straight up sent it, and it's definitely really fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because even talking about it, you'll realize, oh, I like that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all the time, I will like ask people like, oh, like what are your non-negotiables? Like, what are
Ideal
what's your
type.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just steal things from them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that before? Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, we can go on and on about this because I mean, let's be real, like. This is the imaginary, actually, hopefully not imaginary. Hopefully there's a guy out there like this for me. But this is like the guy that I want to someday fall in love with. So I can go on and on about this.
Yes, but yeah, make your list, send them to us. I honestly,
I need
to add
love
more
to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I cannot, just like that's the real. The real is that it's not cemented. It's like not concrete at all.
It's fluid.
Fluid, forever changing.
Yes.
But
yeah, have a good week, guys. Thanks for tuning in
for today.
Yes.
Woo!
You can follow us on Instagram at bulgogi.podcast and on Twitter at Bulgogi Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at HANAKATTT.
One day we'll have to tell them about your Hana Korea, but
oh yes. Story time.
And you can find me at Bejulified at BEJULIFIED.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
One.
I said have a good night, but what if they're listening to this?
Or morning.
Yeah. Or day. Or just
have a good one.
Have a good one. 1, 2, 3. Woo!